Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. The subject of today's live stream is being a beholder. But before we dive into the discussion, let's start with an initial meditation. I invite you to close your eyes with me now and just be still for a few moments. At the end of the meditation, I'll say thank you and then we'll open the discussion. So let's be still. Thank you. So as I say, the subject of today's live stream is being a beholder. It's occurred to me recently that Joel makes reference to this many times throughout his books and his talks, but sometimes people can get unstuck with understanding exactly what he means by that. How do I be a beholder? And a beholder of what? And if there's no definitive personal sense of me, as Joel keeps reminding us over and over again, then who is the one being a beholder? Well, we'll unravel all of these questions in today's live stream. And if you have any other questions or comments or anything you'd like to share afterwards, please do feel that you can write in the comments, or you're welcome to email me privately. My name is Heather, and my email address is mysticalmeditation@yahoo.com, which is in the description. Okay, so I'm going to take this in 3 stages. Firstly, by considering the importance of being detached from the images our senses are presenting to us without judgment, in order to be inwardly still. And then secondly, this leads us to the awareness that the me I thought I was is in fact illusory. There is no doer or thinker. There's only awareness. And I'll elaborate on what I mean by that, which then takes us to the ultimate understanding, and this is the 3rd step, to that of surrender. Because I already am the I that I am. And I'll elaborate on what I mean by that. So let me start by reading an extract from the Contemplative Life by Joel Goldsmith. This is an older version of the book, The Contemplative Life. And I'm actually going to read from this book. It's reproduced in this book, A New Horizon. This is a recent copy of the 8 important chapters that Joel recommended his students particularly devote time to studying and learning. And Gloria and I have been hosting a monthly book study group on these 8 important chapters, and you're very welcome to join us. Details of the Zoom links are in the description. So before I start reading, let me give you some context around this particular chapter. Joel has introduced the idea that everything we perceive and experience through our senses is not the way we believe it to be. The whole physical, material world he likens to a mirage. In other words, mental images or a simulation. self-hypnosis. The substance where those images are appearing is actually pure consciousness, a field of awareness, just like consciousness is the real substance of the images in a dream. And one of the wisdoms in The Infinite Way, let me just show you before I read from that book. One of the wisdoms of this book, I'm sure many of you are aware of this one. One of the wisdoms in this book is all that is objectively witnessed must be understood to be mental images or mind projections, never spiritual reality. We'll come back to that book in a moment. So knowing that mind is the substance of all form enables us to be detached from whatever situation is arising without judgment, because we know it's all thought, belief, and therefore we can be inwardly calm and still and just let. The images aren't the real truth. So let me read to you from this book now. From this copy I'm reading on page 47. And here Joel says, when we are no longer afraid of anything in the external world, then we automatically arrive at a state of consciousness that no longer concerns itself with the good appearances or fears the evil appearances, but looks out at them with a sense of detachment as an onlooker or a beholder, with no interest in changing, improving, or destroying them, with just the attitude of a beholder. Hello to those of you who've joined. It's lovely to be here with you. So at this stage, our focus is still on what's out there, but we're not succumbing to becoming drawn into the drama or the beliefs that are out picturing. We're just watching, as though it's a movie being played out on the screen of our mind. Does anyone have any questions or comments at this point, or would simply like to say hello? It's really lovely to be here with you. And please do feel free to stop me as we're going through if you do have any comments. In which case we'll move on to the second stage. Knowing that mind is the substance of all form gives us the understanding that if I'm inwardly calm and in a place of inner non-resistance, this produces more peaceful appearances, thoughts of a more benign frequency. And in metaphysics, the focus stops there. But Joel takes us further and deeper into truth, because resting in this place of inner awareness, we come to see that thoughts and emotions are arising all by themselves. I'm not doing any of it. It just happens. They're not my thoughts. I didn't create them. Do you know how to create a thought? In fact, this ego personality, which in itself is just a mental construct, didn't create anything. In which case, who am I? That's the big question. Any thoughts? Would anyone like to share? Well, the answer is, I am awareness. Simply that. And the totality of that. I am the only reality. And this is the crux of Joel's teachings. Without me, the consciousness that I am, nothing exists. So now our focus is no longer solely on being detached from the play of Maya, the material world, but instead it's resting in the awareness of the I that I am and remaining there. And that's the discipline. Consciously realizing the fallacy of identifying as an image presented by the senses. And this then takes us to the final stage of surrender. Hello to those of you who've joined. It's lovely to be here with you. We're considering what Joel Goldsmith means by being a beholder. Well, I'll read you now Joel's words from A New Horizon. This one. And again, it's from the originally from the Contemplative Life. And he says, the only way we can do that is to withhold judgment and be still, seeing neither good nor evil, being a beholder, and letting the Father, consciousness, present the picture to us. We just bear witness. We just behold, but not with the idea of healing anyone, not with the idea of improving or enriching anyone, merely with the idea of beholding the picture as God made it and as God sees it. So what he's saying there, in essence, is that we are consciously seeing perfection through the eyes of God, consciousness, as consciousness. And I'm going to draw again from the Wisdoms of the Infinite Way, and he describes it beautifully in this way. So, he says, true non-resistance is the ability not to expect God to function in the dream. This does not mean that one lives without God, but rather one finds his life to be eternally in God. So here we're consciously living as the beholder, resting in the silence that we are. And this is the ultimate teaching. Let me read you another one from this book, The Infinite Way, again from the Wisdoms. As I say, this is the ultimate teaching. When you reach the center of consciousness, you find a complete stillness, a deep well of silence. It is not power, since there is nothing for it to be a power to or over. It just is. I'll pause there for a moment, just for that to sink in. And again, as I say, if you've got any comments or questions, please do feel free to write. Even if you're listening to the recording, please do feel free to write in the comments section, because I know this completely turns around what we may have believed to be reality. Okay, well, next week we'll conclude my summer live streams here on YouTube, and I'll be talking more then about the subject of surrender and the meaning of death in the Infinite Way teachings. And from September, I'll continue to offer a live stream on the third Saturday of each month here on YouTube. And I hope you'll join me then. They seem to have been quite popular, and I've really enjoyed doing them. And I'll also be focused on our new in-person book study group and talks given by Infinite Way teachers in West London. I'll make these West London meetings available via Zoom, so you can contact me if you'd like more information about that. I'll also be hosting Saturday lives and daily meditations on TikTok. And if you'd like me to record and post those TikTok lives here on YouTube, then do let me know. And finally, we also continue to have our daily meditations on WhatsApp, and you're very, very welcome to join us for those. All the links are in the description. Well, what we've covered today has been profound, and it was a joy to do so. Thank you so much for being here. So let's end now with a final meditation, and then carry that peace onwards with us as we leave this live stream. At the end of the meditation, I'll say thank you, and then we'll leave in silence. Okay, let's be still. Thank you. Thank you.